Hello everyone, OCDsaster here, and I have been doing a mini-series on the next Super Smash Bros. Installment, titled Super Smash Bros. 7. Yes, it's the 7th installment of Super Smash Bros. It is not the 6th, because Wii U and 3DS Super Smash Bros. Count as separate games. Sakurai has said it himself, and they have different stages. You can fight me on that all you want, but that is facts. Now, I have a playlist that I encourage you to check out before watching this video if you're not caught up. If you choose not to, I'm not your dad. Do whatever you want. But in this video, we are going to be discussing the new additions that I think are going to be in the next Super Smash Bros. Game. Last video, we made some cuts. Now we're going to add some people in. This is purely speculation. There's no inside scoops or anything like that. We don't even know where in development the game is yet. And I'm basically doing patterns. I'm using pattern recognition and some, characters that people have wanted in for a while to kind of form this list. It's in no particular order, and the way I put it up on screen in the little tiles and panels is just to make it look nice. That's all it is. It's not that special, guys. So first, we have a Skyward Sword representation from Zelda, Gyrium. They've been an assist trophy in previous Smash Bros. Titles, but now it's their time to shine. I think they would be a very interesting pick as a replacement for Sheik, because you still have those ninja-like elements there. Next, we have Geno from Super Mario RPG. Geno has been requested for years and years and years, and they just remade Super Mario RPG, so it would be perfect to have him in as an actual fighter and not just a Mii fighter outfit. Next, we have Tinkaton, a Gen 9 Pokemon that wields a hammer. I think this would fit really well into Smash Bros. Because we would finally get a Pokemon with a weapon that's not just, shooting out something like lightning or water or anything like that. Next, we have another Zelda character, this one from Majora's Mask. We have Skull Kid. Skull Kid is an assist trophy in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but a lot of fans really wanted him in the game as an actual fighter, so I have him here for those fans, and maybe we'll get to see him show up in the next installment more than an assist trophy. Next, we have Alear from Fire Emblem Engage. Yes, I know, we already have a ton of Fire Emblem characters, and a lot of people are tired of seeing Fire Emblem in Smash, but it's a popular Nintendo game. It's getting more and more popular. They're sword fighters, so they're easy to translate and develop into the game, so it only makes sense. I have Chrom staying in replacement for Roy, but Roy has been cut, so we're going to go ahead and put Alear where Roy was going to be. So it's really not even adding another Fire Emblem character in, because it's just replacing one that was taken out. Next, we have Lara Croft. I think since Solid Snake will probably not be returning, and the reasons for that I mentioned in the previous video, I think Lara Croft would be an appropriate replacement because she's very iconic in the video game world, franchise, history, whatever you want to call it, and she's third party, so I just think it would be a really good fit in replace of Solid Snake. Next, we have Dixie Kong. Dixie Kong would basically just be an Echo Fighter for Diddy Kong, but I do think Echo Fighters will be returning, so Dixie Kong is there. Next, we have a villain. I think the villain roster needs to be bloated up some more for this next Smash Bros. Game. I have Dr. Eggman. I think he would be an amazing addition to Smash Bros. I have a video on a potential moveset for Dr. Eggman that I don't think is realistic for Smash Bros, but I think is very creative, and I definitely encourage you to check that out after this video. Another Echo Fighter we have is Octoling. This would be an Echo Fighter to Inkling. It would be a very easy implementation, and it would basically have Splatoon be represented through and through because it is a very popular franchise in Nintendo history. Next, we have Paper Mario. Yes, I do think Paper Mario will be making a debut in the next Smash Bros. Game. A very wanted character, and the moveset potential could be really fun and creative. He could definitely be like Game & Watch, where he is just two-dimensional. He has no axis, and I think it would be really cool to have more flat character representation in these games. Next, we have another Pokemon, and that will be a Gen 8 Pokemon, Scorbunny. Scorbunny just has that look where you could just be a fighter that uses your feet mostly and fire abilities, so I just think it would just fit really well into this game. Next is a goofy one. Sakurai likes to add goofy characters in all the time. just to kind of trigger everybody. And I know Sakurai is no longer a part of the Smash Bros. Franchise. He has retired, and we said that we will probably be getting a new direction. So the character lineup might be vastly different than what I'm saying, but I think they kind of want to keep his spirit, at least for this next one. So they're going to add another wacky Mario character, and that would be Paratrooper. I think Paratrooper would be quite fun to play as in Smash Bros. The aerials and the recovery would be absolutely insane, but everything else would be, you know, balanced in that sense. And I just think it would be cool to see another enemy type from the Mario franchise enter the ring, such as Paratrooper, kind of like Piranha Plant. Next is, shocker, another Zelda character, but this will be the last one, I promise, and that is Impa, but the younger version from Breath of the Wild. I think this would be a very good addition to the game. We have some more female representation. Once again, I don't really know the Zelda franchise that much, which is surprising that I keep choosing Zelda characters, but it seems like that franchise is on an upward trend, especially with the popularity of Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, so I can definitely see them leaning a little bit heavier into Zelda representation for this next generation of Smash Bros. Then I have another Fire Emblem character. I know this isn't great, this isn't what you want to hear, but this is the most realistic I think we're going to get with a roster pick. I have Garon, who's from Fire Emblem Fates. I know he looks very similar to Ganondorf with like the black and the purple, but we need some more of that villain representation, like I said earlier, and I think Garon would be a good fit in that regard. You could replace him with any Fire Emblem character, or villain, I should say, that you want if you don't like this pick. Next is another Echo Fighter, which would be for Donkey Kong, Funky Kong. He would play basically just like Donkey Kong, except he would be funky. Now, you could also argue that DK could just have an alt skin that turns him into Funky Kong, but I think people love this character too much for it just to be an alt switch. Next is another Echo Fighter, so it's basically just Fire Emblem, Zelda characters, and Echo Fighters. Isn't that great? Aren't you guys going to be so excited for this next game? I have Shadow the Hedgehog. It's just a perfect fit. You already have Sonic in there. We've wanted Shadow for a while now. Let's get him out of being an assist trophy and put him in as an actual fighter in the game. His moveset would be very similar to Sonic Battle for the Game Boy Advance. It would be very, very fun to have him similar to Sonic, but have a few different tricks up his sleeve. Next, we have a classic fighter. There's always a classic fighter added into each game of Smash Bros. So this one is going to be Excite Bike. I don't know how they would really put this into the game, how that moveset would look, but they could do it, and I think it would be very cool to have Excite Bike enter the fray. Next, I have Master Chief from Halo, one of the biggest franchises in video game history. It might not be on the uppity up for now. It might have some like hiccups here and there, but it's a very known IP, and Microsoft is already in Smash Bros. With Steve, so it makes sense. And actually Banjo as well. He's technically Xbox now, so it would be an easy integration to have Master Chief in the game. Along in that same vein, Microsoft now owns Activision, so that means they have the rights to Crash Bandicoot. I think out of everyone in this list, out of all the speculations, I think Crash is the number one, 100% getting into the next Smash Bros. Because they don't really know what to do with him over at Microsoft right now anyway, and it's just a perfect tonal fit and look for him to be in Smash Bros. And I would be very excited to see him spin his way in. The last two are iconic fighters from another fighting game series, Mortal Kombat. It is interesting we do not have Mortal Kombat in yet, but we do have Tekken, and we also have King of Fighters. So now it's time to add Scorpion and his Echo Fighter Sub-Zero as the last two fighters I have here to be on this list. I think there will be more, and then there'll probably be DLC, but this is my list. What do you guys think down in the comments below? I know most of these are assist trophies turned characters, and then Echo Fighters, and then Zelda characters, and then Fire Emblem characters. I think that's the pattern we're going to go in. Like I said, Sakurai's probably not going to be leading this one, so there will definitely be an open window for different things to change. But this looks like the safest way to add more characters without it being such a big, heavy lift for adding, you know, more designs and stuff like that. I want to know your guys' opinion down in the comments. I personally would be okay with this. I'd be more so excited that I got everything right than anything, but I would like to see other characters than this. This is not my wish list, but I'm not making that kind of video right now. So yeah, that's going to wrap up this video. We got a few more for this series, and then we're going to put it all together in one big video. I'm OCDsaster, and I hope you have a smash-tastic rest of your day. See ya.